Welcome to the Occupational Safety Leadership Podcast, episode number 53, Hot Work Permits for Process Safety Management. So in today's episode, we're going to talk about hot work permits. We've done a whole series on process safety management. Hot works permit, let me get to the next slide here, is just basically a fancy way of saying that before somebody does a operation that's going to produce a flame, spark, heat, something that's going to cause something to catch on fire, must have a permit before that you begin this operation. And you're going to keep it on file, of course, until the end of the operation. That's it for this section. It's short and sweet, but let's sit down and talk about, since this came out in 1994, what they've done since 1994. A lot of the industries out there are following the NFPA 51B. Let me get to that slide here, which is called the Standard for Fire Prevention During Welding, Cutting, and Other Hot Work. So they realize that even when having a hot work permit, if you 100% follow exactly what the OSHA standard has on here, not that it's not good, but there's a lot of new and better ways to be safer out there. So one of the things that we'll cover in these next couple of seconds here is the best industry practices then. So the first one then is to remove the work to a fire safe area. If you cannot weld or spark or solder or anything where exactly you are, because the reason you're getting a permit is because you do have the chance for a fire then. So if you could move it to a fire safe area, do that operation, bring it back, bolted in, that might be a better option than going through the whole process of trying to make the area fire safe and having a fire watch and all the other aspects that go along with this. Sometimes you can cover the area with fire safe materials, and that will help you out in that process. You can have a fire watch present. So the fire watch is doing just like the word says, doing nothing but watching to make sure that a fire does not happen, because sometimes you literally can't move the work. So we have to then, of course, make sure that if a fire does happen, how do we put it out as quick as we possibly can? So fire watch must have a portable fire extinguisher that's going to be applicable for whatever they're doing at that point in time. That you're either going to use A, B, or D, depending upon things, of course. Um, the fire watch must be present for the whole operation and for at least 30 minutes after the hot work is concluded, because we do know that when things smolder, at times it's not always really evident that a fire has started, and it takes time to smolder. Um, and so they want you to stick around for at least a half an hour. And there's no way we're going to cover all of the details, but this can be found in the National Fire Prevention Association Standard 51B, Standard for Fire Prevention During Welding, Cutting, and Other Hot Work. It's a fantastic document. I use it. I recommend it to really make sure that we're not going to have a fire. So we don't want to shortcut things and say, yeah, but I followed the OSHA standard, I'm going to be good. Doesn't mean that you're not good, but what you want to do is really make sure that you're not going to have a fire, as opposed to, well, I followed what the law said. So, and that is it for episode number 53, Hot Work Permits for Process Safety Management. My name is Dr. David Ayers. Thank you for joining me today, and have a safe day.